This is ACIM Lesson 160. Welcome to the Explainer. I am so incredibly pumped to guide you through this specific text today. We're going to take a profoundly deep yet super practical piece of source material from A Course in Miracles and really break it down so it makes total, perfect sense for your everyday life. We're going to set a grounded, peaceful, but highly focused tone for our journey together, because the message we are looking at today, it honestly has the power to completely shift how you view your own mind. And the lesson is exactly this. I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. Take a breath and just focus on those words for a second. I really want you to anchor your mind right now in this profound, fundamental truth. The source material is asking us to establish a firm baseline for our reality. It's making this definitive claim about where you belong and what actually belongs with you. Now, we are going to unpack exactly what this means, but for now, just let the certainty of that statement wash over you. You are at home. Fear does not belong.
All right, let's dive straight into Section 1, the uninvited stranger, the invasion of fear.
So the central conflict introduced in the text paints fear not as a natural part of who you are, but as a completely foreign idea. It's a stranger. I mean, think of it like someone just walking into your house who doesn't speak your language, doesn't know your customs, and suddenly tries to rearrange all your furniture. The text argues that fear is this alien presence that we, rather mistakenly, end up inviting in and allowing to take over our mental space. Notice how this perfectly decodes the heavy allegory of the text. On the left side here, we have the home. This represents your true self, a state of perfect sanity and love. This is where you naturally belong. And then on the right side, we have the stranger. This represents fear, illusion, and a deep sense of alienation. The source text tells us that this stranger comes from an idea so incredibly foreign to the truth that it speaks a completely different language. It looks at the world and sees danger, where truth sees only peace. So by comparing these two directly, we can see that fear just isn't a fundamental part of our identity. It's a foreign lens we've accidentally put on. Which leads us to this incredibly striking question directly from the text. Who but a madman could believe he is what he is not? I want you to just pause and reflect on that for a second. If your true nature is peace, love, and sanity, if that is your actual home, then identifying with fear is, quite literally, a form of madness. The text challenges us to see the sheer insanity of looking at this anxious, alien stranger in our minds and saying, oh yeah, that's me. It's entirely illogical to judge against yourself by pretending you are this fearful entity. But here's the really cool part. The crucial point is how easily we can actually fix this. The text points out how simple it would be to just stand your ground and say, this is my home. Here I belong and will not leave because a madman says I must. Why don't we just say that? Well, the text suggests there's really only one reason we feel so dispossessed, because we needlessly asked the stranger in to take our place. We thought somehow that this fearful way of viewing the world was more suited to our tastes. But we have the power, literally at any moment, to simply claim our home back. Let's move to Section 2. Love and fear cannot coexist, the incompatibility. Okay, so we're moving from a metaphorical story about a house and a stranger into this brilliantly strict logical argument about the mind. The text asks, is it fear or you that is unsuited to the home which God provided for his son? Let's think about this logically. Is fear your natural state? Was fear created in the likeness of perfect love? Does love complete fear, or does fear complete love? No, of course not. They are entirely unsuited for one another. The prompt here is to help you realize that you aren't the problem. The uncomfortable, unsuited element in your mind is simply the fear you've been entertaining. And this brilliantly illustrates the strict logical resolution the text offers. There is no home can shelter love and fear. They cannot coexist. It is a totally binary reality. If you are real and your true nature is love, then fear must be a complete illusion. It has no actual substance. It's just a shadow. You cannot have perfect love and perfect fear occupying the exact same space in your mind. One absolutely must cancel out the other. Now look at the inverse of that. If fear is real, do you exist at all? Just let that provocative question hang in the air for a moment. If this stranger, this anxiety, this terror, this alienation is the ultimate, undeniable reality of the universe, then the loving, peaceful, true self you were created to be doesn't actually exist. You have to choose which reality you accept. If you choose fear, you are essentially denying your own existence and exiling yourself from your own home. Which brings us to Section 3, the miracle of remembering and being searched out.
So when the mind exiles itself, feeling lost, believing it's the stranger, it forgets how to get back. But the text visualizes this beautifully clear path back home. Step 1 is acknowledging that fear is indeed a stranger, not your true self. But because you might feel way too lost to find your own way back, step 2 is letting a miracle search you out. The text promises that the miracle will come. Step 3 is welcoming this true vision, what the text refers to as Christ's vision, which recognizes what truly belongs to it. And finally, step 4, through this recognition, you remember your home. The miracle comes to show you that you are no stranger, and honestly, you never actually left. I absolutely love this line right here. Your self is as certain of its own as God is of his Son. The text goes to great lengths to reassure you that the Creator cannot be confused about creation. Even if you are wildly confused about who you are, truth is not confused about you. No stranger, no fearful thought, no anxious illusion can be interposed between the Creator's knowledge and your reality. Truth only knows truth. It doesn't even recognize the stranger. Let's move to the final phase of the source material. Section 4, Seeing Through True Vision, the Application. So how do we actually apply this high-level spiritual logic to the way we interact with the physical world and the real people around us? The text gives us a very clear blueprint. True vision sees no strangers in the world. When you look at other people, true vision beholds what is familiar, what is peaceful, and joyously unites with them. Even if others act like strangers because they're lost in their own fear, you don't have to view them that way. In fact, the text warns that denying a brother, meaning seeing another person as an alienated stranger or an enemy, is denying truth itself. By accepting this true sight and consciously seeing past the fear in others, you clearly recognize your own self, and your home is remembered. Salvation comes directly through how you choose to see your brothers and sisters. And that brings us to Section 5, your daily practice, the conclusion. Because understanding the logic is wonderful, but practicing it is where the real transformation happens. To do this, we are going to reiterate our main lesson statement one final time. Read it aloud right now if you can, or just say it silently in your head. I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. This is your anchor. This is the exact phrase that instantly reorients your mind away from the insanity of fear and right back to the sanity of your true home. So what is the specific practice today? First, carry this single thought with you constantly. How long and how many times do you need to do this? The text implies you should use it as a continual defense throughout the entire day. You need to remind yourself of this exact phrase whenever fear arises. If you feel a spike of anxiety at work, if you feel dread while watching the news, just pause and say, I am at home, fear is the stranger here. Use it all day long. Furthermore, consciously practice seeing no one as a stranger today. Look past their defenses and remember that you and they are perfectly safe at home. By doing this, you are actively refusing to let the stranger of fear take your rightful place of peace. Hey, if you found this explainer helpful, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps out. Thank you so much for joining me today. As you go about your day, I'll leave you with this final thought. If fear is just a stranger who wandered in, why do we keep leaving the front door wide open? Keep practicing, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.